The August 19th full supermoon in visionary Aquarius is an ascension full moon. It is taking us into the brand new era that Pluto in Aquarius began. Truths will be revealed, definitely on a collective level, and many of us will have a breakthrough realization as well. This is a breakdown, break free, breakthrough full moon, emphasis on breaking through into a new higher consciousness, more freeing, more liberating, more ready to say yes to something that our heart truly wants and desires. But not only this, something that we need for our stability. The energies are accelerating. This full moon may catapult you forward into your next chapter, and you are being led by your future self. Not only this, but this full moon is preparing us for eclipse season. Yes, eclipse season. Believe it or not, we are headed into eclipse season. The first eclipse is going to be on September 17th. So buckle up, my beautiful friend. You're not doing this alone. We are all in this together. Here we go. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you who will feel these energies of the Aquarius full moon most intensely, most personally. There are 2 T-squares involved in this full moon. A T-square is one of the most intense aspects that you can have in astrology. What does this mean? This is what I'm going to be breaking down and sharing with you. Most importantly, how can you work with these energies with the most ease and grace? And in part 2 of this video, I will be doing, as always, readings for all 12 signs, letting you know which area of your chart corresponding to the area of your life in which you are going to experience this Aquarius full moon based on your rising sign. And as always, I will also be pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs, giving us further intuitive messages. I'm super excited to share more with you about this full moon, but before we dive deeper, I want to say hello and welcome. If you're new to the channel, I am so glad you have found us. This is a like-minded community. If you want to feel empowered through astrology, you have found your tribe. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss a video. Hello and welcome back to my subscribers. I am so grateful for your support, and hello to my Sunday chat friends. Every Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, we gather in the chat when my videos generally go live, so please join us. I'm Betsy Gutting. I am a psychic astrologer as well as an intuitive life coach and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. In my videos, as well as my professional astrology consultations, I weave together spiritual principles, divine downloads, and Western tropical astrology. So if you would like to use astrology for your empowerment, this is what I do. You are in the right place. I also write about the astrology between videos through my weekly inspirational astrology updates. If you would like to receive those direct to your inbox before they go out on social media, go to my website, subscribe for free, and you will get a free instant download gift from me as well. Stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll tell you more about that free gift as well as my astrology consultations. If working together intrigues you, I will tell you more about it at the end of the video. Now, all full moons are when the sun and the moon are opposite each other on the zodiac wheel. Something comes to a head, something is completed. We have a full circle graduation moment, we have a manifestation. Potentially something new is birthed into the world. For example, my oldest daughter's due date for her 3rd baby is one day before this full moon, and this full moon is conjunct her Aquarius moon. So even though full moons tend to be more emotional, absolutely, we tend to feel them in our relationships, even though this is true, and this will be a releasing full moon. Most of us will have emotions bubbling up. Most of us will do some sort of emotional clearing. While this is true, at the same time, this is a visionary full moon, meaning this is a full moon to connect with a vision for your life going forward, because Aquarius is about, what do you want for your future? What do you know you absolutely need in order to feel like your life is on track? What do you know you absolutely need? What does your heart need? After all, the sun is in Leo. That is connected to the heart. And the moon is in Aquarius, which is connected to your future vision. Now, for all of us collectively, because Pluto in Aquarius jump-started a brand new era, This full moon is bringing in changes that we are all going to feel on a global level, and that's because there are so many planetary conversations that are happening just before this full moon and during this full moon, and I'm going to get into those in a moment. But because of this big picture, this full moon may feel like it's taking us, catapulting us headlong into the new earth. And yes, experiencing a brand new world is a process for sure. It does take time, but we're already seeing collectively unexpected changes and developments that we didn't see coming, right? Aquarius holds humanitarian values. Everybody gets an equal voice. The community is valued. The tribe is valued. In Aquarius energy, we want to find our tribe. We're done with doing it alone. And this is hard for so many of us who especially have done it on our own because we weren't sure if we could trust working with others. But that is shifting. Many of us have done quite a bit of inner work on our trust issues. And this full moon is also calling us to release any fears that are connected with working with another person or working in a tribe or working in community. Because this is where we're going to be able to tap into resources that we didn't have at our disposal before. And we need those resources. We need those resources because what we're going for, and leave me a comment, my friend, let me know if you relate to this, what we're going for. One of the messages of this full moon is keep your eye on the prize, keep your eye on your vision. Your vision most likely is one that feels out of your comfort zone at the very least, and even out of your wheelhouse, perhaps out of your ability to create on your own. By design, going after something that we can't do on our own, that we have to tap into spirit for, that transforms us. That takes us into a new consciousness. We have to go to the next level of our consciousness to have what we most want. That is by design with this full moon. Aquarius is your creative genius. It is you tapping into the cosmic intelligence and bringing down ideas, resources, call this person, look this up, find an advisor on this subject. The cosmic intelligence can give us that direction. That's one of the beauties of Aquarius energy. What we need to make something happen can feel like it's coming out of nowhere. That's where we say it came out of the blue. I had this epiphany. I had this light bulb moment. I can't believe I met this person and they introduced me to that person. And now my dream is coming true. I can't believe this is happening. This is Aquarius energy. During an Aquarius moon, we are more able to tap into miracle consciousness, where something you didn't see before because you weren't at that level of vibrational frequency or consciousness, something you didn't see before, now you're able to rise to that level and you become a match for it. Because what is a miracle after all? It was always there. We just didn't see it because we weren't aligned with it. So I really want to encourage you, my friend, to open up to the possibility that something that wasn't possible for you before or doesn't feel possible for you right now, open up to receiving from the universe the synchronicities, the moments of awareness and clarity that show you a next step that can still take you to that pipe dream. You're not alone. I am working with a pipe dream myself. I don't yet see how it can happen, but I know that it will help me carry out my purpose. It's supportive, it's nurturing. I know that it will upgrade my life, and because of the aspects that are being made to this full moon, which I'm about to share with you, a life upgrade is something that the universe does want to give us right now, especially if it's a life upgrade that is going to help you do your purpose, give back to the world, contribute your gifts. This full moon in Aquarius is saying, go ahead and be rebellious. Go ahead and start your own inner revolution if you want. Do it differently. Give yourself to the freedom to be yourself. Be your wild, creative, let your freak flag fly self. Test the waters. Even if it ruffles other people's feathers, especially if it ruffles other people's feathers, not saying do it just to do that, but if your heart is calling you to that creative expression, why wouldn't you give yourself permission? I want to invite you to go back to February 9th. That was when we had the new moon in Aquarius. Now, I know it's very difficult for me to go back and say what was going on during that time. But once I thought about it, I remembered that around that time, And that was just a little bit before eclipse season began, our spring eclipse season, which was a super powerful time when we were being guided to take a risk, do something different, believe in ourselves. Did you have a realization around that February or March time that made you decide, I need this thing, I want this thing, I have to find a way to get this in my life because I know it's something that I need in my heart and my soul, in my bones. I know I need it to do my life. If you did have an awareness like that in February or during the eclipse season, March, April, if you did, this Aquarius full moon is saying, keep your eye on that prize. It doesn't mean that you should have manifested that by now. I have not yet manifested the thing that I know I need, but most of us have been doing karmic clearing since that new moon in Aquarius. Our energies have gone to other places, many of us. We've been clearing the slate for this dream, this new vision. So you may be wondering, is this full moon in Aquarius going to affect me personally in my life? And that depends on whether the planets or points are activating any planets or points in your natal astrology chart. So the full moon is happening at 27 degrees of Aquarius. Those of you who have planets or points between 23 and 29 degrees of Aquarius, or the other fixed signs of Leo, Taurus, or Scorpio, you will feel this full moon more intensely, more personally. Also, those of you who have planets or points between 0 and 2 degrees of the mutable signs, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, or Sagittarius, you will also feel this full moon more intensely. But as I said at the beginning, we're all going to feel this collectively because there are so many planetary conversations happening and we have 2 T-squares, and 2 T-squares mean change. Change is happening collectively. So there will likely be events that happen on the world stage as well as in some of our individual lives. Now you could have easier aspects, sextiles or trines, which I'm going to mention when we get to the 12 sign readings. You could have those easier aspects happening too that will soften the energies of this full moon and may also bring you grace-filled moments of freedom, liberation, epiphany, spiritual awakening, perhaps. So let's talk about the aspects. This is the juiciest part of a new moon and full moon, is knowing what the aspects are, because this is how we can figure out what is the story of this full moon. How is it moving us forward? How is it growing us at the soul level? So the sun in Leo, which is opposite the Aquarius moon, the sun in Leo has a companion, and that companion is Mercury retrograde. Mercury and the sun are together. Why is this important? Because it means that there are conversations that are happening. There are divine downloads that are happening, Mercury. There are more emails, more tete-a-tetes. I like that phrase. There are more huddling between people that's going on. There's more back and forth going on. And because the sun rules our identity, the roles that we play, how we see ourselves, our self-image, and Mercury is right next to it, and Mercury is retrograde, we are contemplating something that is going to either reinvent us or is going to have us seeing ourselves with new eyes. You could be thinking about taking on a new role, or you could be changing your inner narrative about who you are or about what you are capable of creating in this lifetime. To me, the most beautiful thing that you could take away for this full moon, and I'm certainly intending this for myself, the most beautiful thing that you could receive from this full moon is releasing any remnants of a past experience. And this goes back for many of us to past lifetimes. Past life trauma is releasing that fully and completely so that anything that is felt out of your reach or like a pipe dream, you can now align with and see yourself as having, experiencing, doing, being. That would be a transformational experience that would fully put you back in your power. And when I was preparing for this video, I was sitting in a cafe writing down all my notes, and I looked out the window and I saw this car that had the bumper sticker that said passion fueled, passion fueled. So whatever it is that you want, it has to be passion fueled. That's how you know that your future self is guiding you forward. Your future self is in charge. And what I mean by that is there's a part of you that already knows that you are capable of creating, co-creating with spirit, something that may feel out of reach to your ego. Your future self knows that you can have it and knows how to show you and give you the resources, the guidance, the intuitive hits, go here, talk to this person, and so on. Your future self has that capability. And with intention, we can tap into that part of us. So because Mercury is retrograde during this full moon and it's sitting next to the sun, which is our identity, this would be a beautiful time to do a life review, to literally fly above your life in your imagination and go through your life, go through each chapter of your life so that you can get a new view of it, a new perspective, and you can shed any guilt or shame or regret and see what you've been through, what you have navigated, what you have come through, what you have risen above, what you have evolved through. See that and give yourself credit for that and say, I did all that. And now what's next? What's next? What's my new chapter? Take the gifts from it, but put any grievances connected to you or another in the past. Now, the first T-square of the 2 T-squares that are happening during this full moon is a mutable T-square in which Mars and Jupiter in Gemini are conjunct, squaring Saturn, squaring Venus in Virgo, and Venus in Virgo is opposing Saturn. Now, if all of that is like making your mind say, what? What is she talking about? Eyes glazing over all of that, I totally get it. The translation of this is, in the Gemini area of your chart, which I spoke about in my last video, my August astrology video, you can go back to that if you haven't watched it. In that video, in the 12-side readings, I talk about what does the Mars-Jupiter conjunction mean for you and where is it happening in your chart. Where it's happening in your chart is where you are hatching a new idea, where there's a new plan that you want to create. There's a new something that's sparking your aliveness that wants to bring you more alive. This is beautiful. However, the T-square is that Saturn is saying, if you want to have this, you have to release your past, like I just talked about. You have to let go of approaching life in a way that drains your energy, self-sacrifice, holding on to guilt or shame, holding on to heaviness, Saturn. Something has to give. This is a something has to give T-square. And Venus in Virgo opposing Saturn wants us to improve something, get something right, create order out of chaos. So with all these planets chiming in, and they all have their own motivations, and their motivations, as you can see, are not fully aligned, but they all have a voice, and we need to give them all a voice in our life. What is the practical upshot of this T-square is that we may feel overwhelmed. We may feel like there's too much on our plate. We may feel like there are lots of different things in our life that need attention or people that are trying to get our attention. And we want to do it all. We want to be diligent. We want to help others, but there's only so much we can do. We're limited. We're human. We can't do it all. And as I'm talking about it, I'm feeling a little queasiness in my belly. And I think what this is saying is the energies may very well feel intense. They probably will feel intense. And this is going to take us back to our physical bodies. What does my body need? I just took a drink of water. More deep breathing, taking time outs, being in nature. All the things that we are likely not to want to do when we feel overwhelmed, but what would be best for us to do. Now that's a T-square in the mutable signs, and if you have planets or points in the mid degrees of the mutable signs, you're going to feel that more intensely, but also mutable energies tend to flow with change more easily because we're used to doing that, right? So that's the good news. The other good news is when you have a T-square, we look to a certain point in the chart for relief, for resolution, for help. And that point in your chart for this T-square is Sagittarius. The house in which you have Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius energy is really good at having fun, changing things up, doing it differently, getting into new scenery, especially. And quick example from my own life, my mom was a Leo sun, Sag moon. She was so good at making lemonade out of lemons. And when my dad passed away suddenly, at the age of 49, I was just 16, my mom decided to rent a house for 1 year because that's all she could afford was a 1-year rental, but rent a house for 1 year in beautiful Laguna Beach, California, where we had a view of the ocean. We had a beautiful deck with a panoramic view, And my dad didn't have life insurance. So she actually had very little money. She hadn't worked for 18 years. She didn't have a new job yet, but she knew instinctively that we all needed new scenery in which to heal. We needed a change. And Sag energy is very good at this. So what I'm saying is if you have, and I'm not saying anyone's going to have a devastating loss like that. It's just an example. What I am saying is that if you have anything happen during this full moon that feels discombobulating to you, change it up. Go have fun. Do something that you normally don't do. If you normally spend time alone and you need to be around other people, get around other people. If you normally eat super clean, but you're craving pizza, get pizza. Like, do something that's really good for your inner child, that makes your inner child feel treated. This is the time to give yourself the utmost TLC. Okay, so the second T-square that is going on, which is the most important one, I'm saving the best for last. The most important one is the Sun and Mercury together in Leo, opposite the Aquarius moon, T-squared by Uranus in Taurus. And whenever we say Uranus, there's always some intensity there because Uranus is intense energy. It is the wild card. Shake things up, wake you up, get you out of your comfort zone, free you from stagnation. And the thing that's difficult about it often is that it comes as a jolt. It comes as a shock. It's delivered in a way that can often be discombobulating. That's my favorite Uranus word, discombobulating. It's unexpected. With Uranus and Taurus, it can be weather related, flooding, earthquakes. I'm not saying most of you are not going to experience this, but some of you could have your power go out, for example. Uranus is an electrical energy. We could all, the power grids could go out, and I certainly hope that nothing super disruptive happens. But when we are discombobulated by a Uranus aspect, there's always a workaround. We find a way. Human beings find a way. We want to remember this. Not only human beings, but our soul selves, our higher selves, we're more likely to tap into that cosmic intelligence because necessity is the mother of invention. You could experience Uranus in a more gentle way, such as a breakthrough, a quantum leap, a spiritual awakening, something that has you seeing with new eyes. And that can be incredibly freeing. We will likely have financial market volatility, but if you've been wanting to invest, this could be a beautiful time to get into the market. What I want to caution all of us not to do is to brace ourselves for this energy, right? That is not using astrology for our empowerment. Rather than holding on tight and bracing ourselves and being afraid of this transit, rather than that, I encourage us to look at it as we don't know what's going to happen, but we do know that the universe has our back. And we do know that if something is temporarily disruptive to our human selves, it's only happening because we need to get out of a rut. We need to shift our thinking. We are ready. Remember, keep your eye on the prize of your vision. I am ready to bring that vision into my life. And the universe, in its divine wisdom, is going to come up with a way to show us what we need to see so that we can create that. I do want to say with a Uranus transit from my own experience, being a multitasker, Gemini Sun multitasker, it's really helpful to be aware of the elements. If you are cooking, be aware of fire that you're using. Be mindful when operating heavy machinery. Don't take unnecessary risks with the stuff that you are working with in everyday life. Do remember that there's always a workaround with Uranus. There's always a solution. Help is there. We have to ask for help, but help is there. And this is the time to detach from the outcome, to be open and say, I know that this is going to be a time of unexpected events. I know that it will be. Things are not going to happen the way that I am planning them to go, most likely. And all of the feelings and emotions that come up when something doesn't go according to plan, and that is the universe's way, that's our higher self's way, our soul's way of having us metabolize those emotions, clear those emotions. By doing that, we're clearing the slate for what we want to bring into our lives. We can also prepare for this full moon by asking ourselves, what are you ready to change, my friend? What do you want to be different in your life? What are you just so tired of and so done with? And what do you want instead? I would journal about those things. I would get very clear on what my heart wants. And as I'm saying that, I get a feeling of my solar plexus. That's Leo energy, the solar plexus. Power. Where do you feel powerless? Where do you want to feel powerful? What do you wish you were capable of creating? Those are going to be clues to your vision. And I know this is hard to remember when we're having a Uranus moment, but Uranus moments, they do make us more resilient. They do make us more resourceful. They do show us what we are capable of. They do help us rise to the occasion. And they can bring in life-changing realizations. Now, just like the mutable T-square that I talked about, this T-square also has, like all T-squares, this T-square also has a point, an energy that we can tap into for relief and release, and that is your Scorpio energy, the Scorpio energy in your chart. And it doesn't matter if you have no planets or points in Scorpio. We all have Scorpio somewhere in our natal astrology chart, and in Scorpio energy, that's where we see a truth. Interesting, with the mutable T-square, it was Sag energy. Sag is also a truth seeker. Scorpio energy is also wanting to get to the bottom of something, getting to the root of an issue or a problem, and see the truth. So this full moon, big picture, is going to show us a truth that we didn't see before, and that is going to set us free. Be willing to dive into the depths of anything that feels difficult. Be willing to have the good cry, to shed the tears, to shed a skin. That's going to lighten you for the focus on what you want to bring into fruition. I do find it very interesting that in the US, the Democratic Party, and this is not a political statement, I do find it very interesting, though, that the Democratic Party chose this full moon as the date for their convention. August 19th, the Democratic National Convention. We've already had a lot of unexpected turnaround developments, right, for this presidential election. So maybe the expect the unexpected has already happened, but I'm very curious to see if something else happens that is unexpected, given that Uranus is disrupting the Leo Aquarius energy in this full moon chart. What I love about this full moon, what I love is that there is a healing aspect. The Sun and Mercury retrograde in Leo are trining Chiron retrograde in Aries. Chiron retrograde is where we have an insecurity, a tenderness, an ouch. It is where we become the healer for others after we have healed a core wound in ourselves. And what's so beautiful is that this trine is going to bring about a healing for some of us. And maybe this is a healing in our sense of power. Solar plexus, Leo energy. Yes, it feels that way. What we didn't think we had the power to create before, maybe because of a conversation we have with someone, a communication we have with someone, a divine download, a clearing of our past, that life review I spoke about, flying above your life, or writing out the events of your life, may have you seeing from a whole new perspective and give you what you need to rise to the occasion. Now, the last thing I want to say is that because Uranus is an electrical energy and it does interfere with our sleep, it does interfere with our appliances and our computers sometimes. Back up your devices. That's a good idea to do during a Mercury retrograde anyway, but ground your energy, whatever grounds you. Being near water would be really good. Walks in nature, breath work, giving yourself the nutritious food that you need. Anything that is good for your physical body, do that, because our physical bodies are going to be more stretched during this time. Naps. Give yourself permission to take a nap if you need it. Okay, my beautiful friends, so let's do the 12 sign readings now. In the 12 sign readings, I'm going to be letting you know in which house, based on your rising sign, you will experience the Aquarius full moon. I also encourage you to listen to your sun sign. This is how your personality, your ego is going to experience this energy, and your moon sign is how you will experience it emotionally and in your relationships. So we're going to start with Aquarius because beautiful Aquarius, this is your full moon. Beautiful Aquarius, what were you thinking about last February during your new moon? That happened February 9th. What were you envisioning during that time? Did you get a hit, an intuitive hit, or did you have a come to Jesus moment where you were like, I need, you fill in the blank, in order to feel more stable and secure in my life. I need this, even if you didn't know how you were going to create it. That's by design. This full moon is pulling us up to a higher frequency, a higher consciousness, so that we can be a match for what we most want. Now, this full moon is happening for you in your first house of identity and the self. This is your self-image. This is the roles that you play. This is how you see yourself, the title that you have at work or in your home life with your friends, if you're volunteering somewhere, any title, anything that you say, I am. This is your house of I am. So Aquarius, you are going to experience two things during this full moon, especially because this is your full moon and it is in your first house. And this does affect often our relationships, our career, our home life. It can be any of those things, but it's coming from a place of what do I want? What do I need? It's coming from that place. So you will very likely, because this is going to be a transformational full moon squared by Uranus, which I talk all about in part 1 of this video, so go back and watch that if you haven't already. But because it will be transformational, you are shedding a skin. And that means you're letting go of the past. And if you say, I've already let go of my past, beautiful. But some of you may still have remnants or threads of past life trauma or memories that you're not even consciously aware of that this full moon is going to help us with. That's why we're having 2 T-squares during this full moon. They tighten things up. They don't give us a lot of room to move. And because of that, we have to shed. We have to let go. We have to release the part of us or grievances that we have, often unconscious or subconscious. We have to release those to have a new sense of self. And that's what you're getting with this full moon, a new sense of self, by releasing the past. Because this is a visionary full moon, we are also reconnecting with a vision. It's not just a completing, letting go, releasing full moon. It is also catalyzing a new vision. And that new vision could have been something that came to you February of this year during your new moon. So Aquarius, this is very exciting. This is super exciting because and some of you are having a full circle manifestation, something coming to fruition. Like I said in part 1, my daughter's having a baby, maybe not on this full moon, but her due date is the day before the full moon. So some of you are having some sort of birthing of something into the world. If it's not a child, it may be something else that you've been working on very possibly for some time now. So Aquarius, some of you are reinventing yourself. Some of you are letting go of a job. And I know, like I said, this is not happening in your 10th house of career, but when you have a full moon in the first house of self, it can affect any role. That means you could be moving. You could be starting a new business. You could be letting go of a job. You could be doing any of those things. So let me pull a card for you and see, and leave me a comment. Let me know what is going on for you, because astrology proves itself. And when we share what's going on with us, we all learn, right? We see the astrology play out. And a card just flipped over, and this is your card. So the card is taking shelter. The answers are within. Some of you are going to be going inside and having some of you are going to be doing this release, not surprisingly. I mean, this is a very intense full moon. And when I see this taking shelter card, when I look at it, I see there's it's winter time. There's a lantern, and there is a moment of getting very connected to your feelings, getting very connected to your heart, letting the emotions pass through. Emotions are just energy and motion. They just need to pass through us. We just need to feel, release, let go of energies that are moving through us. That's all we need to do. There's nothing to be afraid of. Some of us are afraid we're going to get swallowed up in our emotions. But in truth, we were made to release. We were made to release so that we could renew. The answers are within. Whatever you need to know, Aquarius, the answers are within. Journaling, prayer, meditation. I also give you lots of exercises in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, for getting answers, including writing to spirit. And I have some guided meditations, a whole playlist of guided meditations on my YouTube channel that I will link to in the description box below, all free, of course. You can also download a free guided meditation from my website when you sign up for my free weekly inspirational updates. So I'm just giving you all those extra resources, Aquarius, so that you know there are many tools. You have many tools at your disposal to find your own truth. This full moon's about finding your own truth, and from there, the truth will set you free, beautiful Aquarius. Capricorn, hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, you are having this Aquarius full moon in your house of earned income, self-worth, and values. This is the house of material security. It is where we feel like we are providing for ourselves, all of our needs are met, and it's often connected to a job because it is our earned income. So because it's a full moon of letting go and releasing, many of you are letting go of expectations of yourself that are no longer current for you around your self-worth or your income. You are thinking about earning money or letting go of a way you've earned money or adding a new way of earning money. You may have a whole new vision of, I'm looking up because I'm just getting insights as I'm talking. You may have a whole new vision of a way to bring in income that you never had before. After all, this new moon is tuning into this full moon. After all, this full moon is us tuning into the cosmic intelligence and downloading new ways of going about this area of our life so that we can have a whole new experience. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. What does your heart want? Keep your focus there, and then tap into spirit to get direction on how you can receive. Because with this moon opposing the sun connected, which is conjunct Mercury retrograde, new epiphanies and downloads are there for us. We're more likely to receive those during this full moon. And Capricorn, and this full moon could also take you into a new awareness about your self-worth and your self-love. This could give you an opportunity to increase your sense of being your own best friend, having your own back, caring for the child inside of you. So, beautiful Capricorn, let me see what the cards have to say for you. On this new paradigm shifting full moon in Aquarius, we really want to stay open. We really want to be aware of how we can think differently about this area of our life. How can you think differently about your worthiness, about your deserving, about the amount of money you can make if that's an issue for you? Your card is, I love this card, Great Adventure, Take a Risk and Venture Forward. Check it out, Capricorn. You are, I love this ship, it's so beautiful. This person is being very brave, obviously. They are being very brave. They do have companions with them, which is very Aquarian. They do have companions with them. They're not doing it alone. The sail is full. They are venturing into new places. And it's a dragon, and we're in the year of a dragon. It's the dragon that is guiding you forward. So you may even want to tap into the dragon as a totem for messages. But and all the water being so green, emerald green, is heart energy, a heart healing for some of you. It is time to venture forward, Capricorn. It is time to take a risk. What risk would you take? If you weren't afraid, what risk would you take? That is what this full moon is calling you to do. If this resonates, let me know. Leave me a comment. You will inspire all of us. Okay. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sag. You are having this full moon in Aquarius in your third house. I'm taking a breath because I need to. Okay, so Sag, you are experiencing this full moon in your mindset, your communications, verbal, written, in your writing. If you have a writing practice, a journaling practice, or if you write for your profession, if you speak, or you teach, or you present as part of your work or as part of just what you do in your life. If you're a freelancer, if you have networks people that you see locally. And this can even be just like the friends that you hang out with, or the places that you work out, or um, the places that grocery shop. And all those conversations that we have with people on the fly, so to speak, are conversations that could bring in new insights for you, because the sun is conjunct Mercury retrograde in Leo, and the moon is opposite that, meaning we're having those conversations. Oppositions mean we're having back and forth with other people. We're face to face opposite each other talking, especially during this full moon. So we really want to be aware, especially with a third house full moon, that those conversations have a lot of value. They have a lot of potential to shift your mind, to shift your inner narrative. This is also the house of our inner narrative. What are our thoughts? What are we creating with? Oh my gosh, I think I'll say as a Gemini sun, that is the most challenging thing for me, is to put that into practice, knowing the truth that I'm co-creating with my thoughts. And yet we were all imprinted, right? We were all imprinted. Not that it's our parents' fault or whoever, not that it's the fault of our environment that we receive these imprints that are often antithetical to what we most want, that have us thinking in terms of, let's just say that our thoughts are often tinged and touched with trauma. But the good news is that this full moon is helping us to release all of that. And also this is the house of taking short trips, which could be elevating and bring in new scenery and new insights for you. But also you could have something happen in a relationship with a sibling, an aunt, uncle, or cousin, a neighbor, landlord, a mortgage broker, a person you talk with at a meetup group, anyone in your immediate local environment. You could have a very compelling conversation that is transformational for you in some way, or you're releasing, letting go. That person is sparking something for you. That person is triggering something in you, perhaps, or healing something within you. A conversation could do that as well, based on the aspect that we're having with the sun and Mercury retrograde in Leo, trining Chiron retrograde. You could even realize your own healing potential on a deeper level during this full moon. What is your new dream? What is your future self guiding you toward right now, Sag? Because that's where we're being asked to focus. Keep your eye on the prize. You are getting a sextile from the Aquarius energy. So if you have planets or points in the high degrees of your sign, you are going to get a beautiful sextile, which is helping you to take advantage of an opportunity. Say yes to an opportunity if you're being offered it, or ask for help if you need it, because that's often when we have something solved or taken care of that we wouldn't before. That's where we get our life upgrade, by asking. Okay, so Sag, let me shuffle for you now and see what the cards have to say. Ah, beautiful Sagittarius. Your card is, trust that there is a divine plan. Some of you have been in a desert passage. What I love about this card is that this person is coming out of the desert passage. There's a lot of creativity in this card, the orange. A lot of creativity. And there is a path in this desert passage. There is a pathway. If you look closely at the card, you can see there is a path. And he is walking toward the mountain, which is purple, which is cosmic energy, is cosmic divine intelligence, divine downloads. So tap into that cosmic intelligence, however you do it, whether you do it through journaling or meditation or writing to spirit, however you do it, tap into it, because you are elevating your trust. And a lot of us will elevate our trust during this full moon, because with 2 T-squares, we are going to feel the tightness. We are going to have to talk to spirit to get an answer during this full moon, many of us. So Sag, Try to remember that the universe knows the way for you. Your future self knows the way, and all you have to do is ask. Ask and you shall receive. Scorpio, hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, you are going to be experiencing the Aquarius full moon in your 4th house of home, family, and childhood conditioning. This is the house of your roots. This is where you want to feel a sense of belonging. This is a transformational full moon for you because it is squaring your energy. So not only are there T-squares, 2 of them happening during this full moon, as I talk about in part 1 of this video, but you are also getting a square to your Scorpio energy from this full moon. And what that means is that the tension, none of us like tension. Let me acknowledge that. It's not fun, but the tension requires us to take action. We are much more likely to take action on our own behalf when there is tension, right? When we do, it does motivate us. It gives us the feeling like a deadline, like I have to do this thing because I've got a deadline. I don't want to do it, but there's a deadline and I have to do it. It's now or never. You could feel that way. It's now or never. I have to do this. It's now or never. I have to move out. It's now or never. I have to tell my roommate they have to move out. It's now or never. I need to have that conversation with a family member, or it's time for me to look at something from my childhood that I didn't want to look at before. It's time for me to feel those feelings of trauma that I didn't feel before. It's time for me to get a therapist. It's time for me to talk to a coach. I do offer coaching myself, by the way. Or I'm ready to have an astrology consultation and learn more about myself, learn more about my needs and my desires and my gifts and my talents that show up, that are illuminated in your natal astrology chart. Whatever it is, you will probably feel like there is something that you need to do that is connected to home, family, or your relationship with your parents, perhaps. This is going to feel like a very personal full moon for you, Scorpio. It will feel very personal. The 4th house is the most personal area of our chart. So you may very well have feelings of grief and sadness or anger or frustration. It could be a lot of different things, but what's most important is that you give yourself the permission and the space to feel and process any emotions so that you can be set free, so that you can lighten your load. Now, this full moon is also a visionary full moon. It's not just about releasing, it's about what do I want going forward. So some of you want something new in terms of your family. Some of you may want to create your own family. Some of you may want to spend more time with soul sisters and soul brothers. Some of you may want to buy a new house or move to a new home. A move could really be up for you during this time, or you are really ready to step into a whole new level of your sense of self that is completely apart from any childhood conditioning, imprinting that you received. Really ready to break out of that. And that's the beauty of a square. This is a breakdown, breakthrough, break free, accent break free full moon, beautiful Scorpio. And that is really beautiful. There's liberation and freedom that is on offer for you here. If you work with the energies of this moon and you say yes to your heart, any kind of a vision or a goal that you have that feels out of this world, that doesn't feel like you're capable of it, this moon wants to show you, yes, you are capable. Yes, you can have that. But we are transcending, and I don't mean spiritual bypass. We are moving through any emotions, and we are releasing and letting go of past self, really, so that we can embrace and realize that we are capable of creating something that we didn't think we could have before. Okay, Scorpio. Couple of breaths I needed. Okay, so now I'm pulling a card for you. Scorpio. Intensity, you're no stranger to that. I have Scorpio energy in my 5th house. I have my Neptune in Scorpio. And even though, yes, Neptune is a generational planet, I feel it intensely. So just so you know, I get it. Okay, here is your card. It is reflect and redirect your energy. Some of you may feel at an impasse. Some of you may feel like you are stuck. That's what squares can make us feel. That's what T-squares especially, which as I spoke about in part 1 of this video, we're having 2 T-squares. An impasse would be like the quintessential description of this full moon. So it's not anything to be scared about. But what I love about this card is that here's the squirrel. And the squirrel's like, oh my gosh, there's a wall. What am I going to do? Well, we all know that squirrels can climb walls. So all the squirrel really has to do is realize their power. Realize their power. That's one message. The other message is that there's a different direction that some of you might want to go than the direction you have been going. Or you may just want to take a time out from what you've been sort of pushing toward and accept the fact that right now that's not happening. It may be something that it's time to let go of. It may not be right for you anymore, or there may just be a pause on it. There may just be a delay. We do have the Saturn square, after all, of Jupiter, Mars, and opposing Venus. We do have that going on. So what I see in this card is there's still a lot of nourishment for you. There's still a lot of beauty. Actually, reflecting can be quite lovely to take a pause if you give yourself permission to do that. But what I see in this card is that, you know, squirrels, they gather their nuts and so forth, right? For times that they need to have them. And this may be a time that you just need to gather what you need to feel secure in terms of resources, and trust based on any truths that are being revealed to you during this full moon. Many of us are going to have a truth revealed. Trust based on any realizations you're having or any new information that you're getting. Trust that however it's directing you or redirecting you is the right thing for now. For now, beautiful Scorpio. So let me know in the comments below if this resonates. I would love to hear. Libra, beautiful Libra. Hello, Libra. You are having the Aquarius full moon in your 5th house of fun, pleasure, romance, true love and romance, children, creative expression. And this is the house of pleasure, overall pleasure. It's the house of inner child delight. And you are getting a trine from the Aquarius energy to your planets or points in Libra, beautiful Libra. So that's really lovely, especially if you have planets or points in the high degrees of your sign. You will feel the wind at your back. You will feel that you are being ushered forward in a more grace-filled, easier, just more enjoyable way than those of us who are having the harder aspects. So Libra, because this is trining Aquarius's air and your air, and it's trining your energy, you could have an opportunity land in your lap. You could have a new, I see something really lighting up for some of you. I see a vision of a painting and all of these lights like circling the painting. That's a metaphor, but also some of you could be painters. Some of you could be having a gallery showing. Some of you could be showing your work for the first time. But take that metaphor and translate it to any creative thing that you want to express in the world right now, anything that you want to share with others or share with yourself. Maybe some of you are just dabbling in an art form, but you could start by showing your work to yourself or to your closest people, right? Like I love to paint, and my paintings are not gallery level, but framing them for my own home has been very healing to my inner child. And this is a healing full moon. We are having a trine and sextile aspect from the sun, Mercury, and the moon to Chiron retrograde. So there's a healing aspect here. And we are being prepared to stretch and reach into the next thing, the next vision, the next thing that may feel like a pipe dream. We are being prepared to go after that during this full moon. This is a new era, a new consciousness full moon. It is catapulting us into the future. So Libra, I also want to say true love and romance for some of you. That's part of it, or having a child. This is very fertile for having a child. There may be some release that some of you do around an old love, releasing that. One of your children could be creating something or putting something out into the world too. Whatever it is you want to create, this full moon is energizing that really beautifully. So let me pull a card for you now, Libra, and see what the cards have to say for you. Libra, your card is joy and delight. Open your heart to joy. If this isn't a fifth house card, I don't know what is. Here's the inner child playing, and she is wearing they're like fairy wings, and she has a garland of flowers on her head, and she is dressed in her favorite beautiful sparkly dress. So Libra, adorn yourself in ways that make you feel beautiful or handsome. Do the things that bring your inner child joy. You are ready to step into a new level of joy and delight. If you want to claim this, if you want to claim your joy and delight, claim it in the comments below. You will inspire all of us. Okay, Virgo. Hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, we have a lot of energy right now going on for you. As I'm filming this video, Virgo, Mercury is retrograde in your sign, and we have Venus in Virgo. Now, when we get to the full moon on the 19th, Mercury will have retrograded back into Leo, but we will still have Venus in Virgo, and she is a big player. So you will definitely feel this full moon because Venus in Virgo, as I spoke about in part 1 of this video, she is opposing Saturn retrograde. She is squaring, or will be squaring during this full moon, Mars and Jupiter as well. So that T-square you are likely going to feel, and that means something's got to give, Virgo. Something's got to give. Now, where you're going to be feeling this energy, and the whole idea of something's got to give is you bringing your focus back to you. You letting something go that isn't good for you, even if it's temporary. You focusing on what you need to feel good. And that is so perfect for a 6th house full moon, which is about your daily habits, your work, your schedules, your routines, your health, your sleep, all of those things. That's where you're going to probably feel your focus during this full moon. But also, this isn't just about the, few days before and after the full moon. It is also your future vision. It's a visionary full moon for what you want going forward. So that is also going to be up for you, and that will have to do with a job, most likely for many of you, or a lifestyle. This is the house of lifestyles. It's also the house of pets. Or it's having to do for you about getting in shape, some of you. And some of you are like, I need to change I want to eat more nutritiously. I want a cleaner diet. I want to strengthen my body. I want to get back to yoga, whatever it is for you. And you could really be thinking about changing your schedule. Some of you, I just got this flash of motorhome. So some of you could be like thinking of a whole new lifestyle of literally taking your life on the road. If that's true for you, let me know, because I think that'd be kind of wild. But I got that vision. And if not, it's a metaphor for having more flexibility in your life, giving yourself more freedom, which makes sense because Uranus is squaring, T-squaring this full moon. So that makes sense. Okay, so Virgo, let me pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. Virgo. Your card is finding sanctuary, open to your spiritual source. And the 6th house, it's our mental wellness, it's our emotional wellness, it's not just our physical wellness, it's also our spiritual wellness. So you are going to find your answers by opening up to your spiritual source. A lot of people are, but this is so specific to you, Virgo, and makes a lot of sense given that this is happening in your 6th house. And some of you too, this might have to do with your ideal home. This may have to do with you opening up to the fact that you could have the home of your dreams, that you could move to a new place and be happier. Some of you are just being called to spend more time in the ethereal realms, in a higher consciousness, getting into the vortex. When you think of your vision and what you want, amplifying that in the vortex, going to that higher level of awareness before you feel the good feelings of having it. That's a message for some of you as well. So beautiful, Virgo, if this resonates, anything that I said, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Leo, hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, you are experiencing the full moon in Aquarius in your 7th house of committed partnerships, personal or professional clients, business alliances. This is also, of course, the most important people in our life, romantically, but also those like best friends, adult children, and so on. So this is a really big full moon for you, Leo, just like it is for the Aquarians. It is also for you as well. And in your 7th house, something is going to be up for you in your sign. We have Mercury conjunct the sun in Leo during this full moon. So that means more conversations, more, I'm getting the word reckoning. Some of you are having a reckoning. What does that mean? That means that a truth is being spoken by you or by someone else or both of you. And that is bringing you to a realization about the relationship. Some of you may be renegotiating boundaries for this relationship, setting boundaries, making plans. Some of you could even get proposed to or do a proposal. I mean, after all, my daughter's having a baby during this full moon. So, or around, I shouldn't say. I don't know when. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. But anyway, the point is that there can be a full circle manifestation here too, and this could be meeting somebody that becomes your person, the person of that you want to, your forever person, as we say now. I love that. So Leo, this is a lot. This is probably going to be quite intense for you, and just know that because Mercury is retrograde, there is an evaluation process, reevaluation, reviewing. This is a good time to do a life review, as I spoke about in part 1. This is a good time to look back on your life and shed grievances, let go of past hurts, forgive yourself for anything that has happened that you wish would have happened differently. It's a whole new lease on life, this full moon. It's a whole new era. We're being taken into our future self. Pluto's in Aquarius, as you are well aware, I'm sure, and that started the brand new era. And now with this full moon in Aquarius that is happening just before eclipse season begins, the party's on. The party's on. The acceleration is happening. We're on the roller coaster. We are not just in line anymore. We are now on it. We are waving our arms in the air. We are screaming, oh my gosh, what's next to come? It's all happening, and I know some of you probably don't like roller coaster rides, but for those of you who do, I think they're pretty fun. There's that moment when your arms are in the air and you kind of look down and you're about to go, that letting go moment. That is going to be part of this full moon with all the T-squares happening, all of the craziness, the chaos. The chaos will be temporary. It will be temporary, but there will be that moment that we all have to let go, and putting your arms in the air makes it more fun, right, Leo? Okay, let me pull a card for you. Your card is Wondrous Universe Walk. Walk in Beauty. I love it. Okay, so this card is encouraging you to tap into the wonder of the universe, to tap into your wizard self, your sorceress self, your witchy self, your magician self. This is a card that is showing you that the universe during this full moon wants to show you your power, wants to show you the power to create your divine nature. And that comes with tapping into the planets, right? All of the color, all of the creativity. You're very creative. Aquarius energy is very creative. Walk in beauty. This is you just saying, do it. Just do it. Just decide what you want to create that is beautiful for you, and tap into the wondrous universe, and know that the universe can bring you what your heart most desires. Beautiful Leo, if this resonates, let me know. I would love to hear. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I have my moon and my rising in Cancer, and we, those of us who are Cancer risings, are experiencing this full moon in our 8th house of transformation. And yes, this is going to be a transformational full moon, no question. I go into this in depth, the 2 T-squares that are being made by the planets during this full moon. So it is going to be a deep one, but it is going to take us through something so that we can shed a skin and bring us into a new chapter or even a new life for some of us. So that is really beautiful. Now, Cancer. The 8th house is not just the house of death and rebirth where we shed that skin. It is also the house of where we share resources and relationships. So it's intimate partnership. It is emotional sharing in a partnership. It's our sexuality. It is where we split up resources if we have been partnered with someone and we're not partnered with them anymore. It's loans and taxes and taboos, the things we don't often want to talk about. It can be where there are no specific agreements made around money with another person, and you find yourself in awkward moments maybe with different people because you are figuring out who's going to pay for this or who's going to pay for that. So this is the house of power. This is where we want to, ideally, we want to share power. We want to feel like there's equal give and take. We want to feel like, you know, I give to you, you give to me. It is where we need to set clear boundaries. So you might find yourself during this full moon setting boundaries, renegotiating boundaries, someone setting a boundary with you. This is also the house of truth because it is ruled by Pluto in the zodiac, and Pluto is the truth bringer. Pluto brings up the unconscious stuff so that we can metabolize it, right? And that is why we call the 8th house the house of transformation, because those truths being hidden before coming to light are often very uncomfortable for us to stomach. And I say the word stomach because we have Mercury retrograde in Leo and we have the sun in Leo, and those are solar plexus power kinds of energies. Those can bring up power struggles. But at the same time, we can fly like the phoenix. We can rise from the ashes like the phoenix and feel a whole new level of, I'm feeling it right now as I speak about it. I'm looking out my picture window at these very tall, beautiful cedar trees. And the rootedness of who we are as souls having this human adventure. We have the deep roots as souls to do this. We can do this, and we can go beyond the past. We can go beyond the traumas that we've had, and we can find a strength and rise to the occasion that maybe we thought we lost through the losses that we had earlier in our life, or that were sort of reactivated from past lives. We can rise again. We can rise again. I feel that this is as I'm sort of speaking this out and it's coming out, it's the channeling is happening as I'm speaking it. I feel that this could be a really beautiful, liberating feeling, like I have risen. Full moon in Aquarius. And there is a vision here. There's a vision that wants to come to life here. Go back to the February new moon in Aquarius that time, or you can be thinking about eclipse season of the spring. What came to light for you that you know you needed? It's possible you haven't manifested it yet. It's possible that I feel that this full moon is saying now is the time to manifest this. Like we've been clearing karma. We've been doing a lot of karma clearing during the past 6 months, but now it's time to put the rubber hitting the road, or it's time for us to take practical steps. Okay. And because Mercury is retrograde, we're having to revisit something that we haven't done or created yet. Cancer, let me pull a card for you now. Cancers. Embracing enthusiasm, shout to the heavens with happiness, Cancer. There's something here. I am so goofy. Can you imagine if you were my kids? They're like, there's just mama going off again. Oh my gosh. Embracing enthusiasm. What I love about this card is there is transformation happening. There's transformation in her words. Do you see the butterflies? Her words are transforming her and or others. Mercury is retrograde. We are workshopping something. We are reviewing something. We are redoing, refining. But through your words, through the divine downloads that you're getting, or through the way you're speaking something out loud, through a truth that you're speaking, through a conversation you're having, there is a healing happening and there is something that's opening up. You get advice, Cancer. This is 8th house is the house of getting advice. It's where we are. It's where we are encouraged to get advice is what I mean to say. And so getting that advice, you may want to talk to a financial advisor since this is a money house, the 8th house. It's a relationship and a money house. You may want to get some advice about investments. You may want to talk to a coach like myself. You may want to talk to a friend. You may want to join some sort of a group that empowers you for what you want most here. What would transform you right now? What, if you had it, Cancer, would be transformational for you? There is something that we are saying yes to during this moon. It's not just about release. It's half and half. It is release and then a new vision at the same time. And we're activating that vision. And for you, it's happening through conversation and words and sharing. So if this resonates, beautiful Cancer, leave me a comment. Let me know. I would love to hear. Gemini. Hello, beautiful Gemini. I have my sun in Gemini. Gemini, those of you who are Gemini risings, you are experiencing this Aquarius full moon, a visionary full moon, tuning into the cosmic intelligence, bringing down from the heavens new information, new downloads, new epiphanies and aha moments about your spiritual philosophies and beliefs. This is the house of new horizons. New horizons can happen in a lot of different ways. They can happen through long distance travel. They can happen from moving to another country. They can happen through you putting something out into the world and publishing it, whether you're publishing videos on YouTube, for example, or you're publishing a course that you're teaching, or you are getting a group together and you're teaching a course online or in person. A spiritual awakening is on offer for some of you during this full moon. Definitely epiphanies, definitely new revelations. I feel that for a lot of you, this is tied to going back over your life and realizing how far you've come and giving yourself a clean slate, a fresh start, changing the narrative. A lot of us, our narratives are outdated. Our stories about our life, our stories about what we can have. For a lot of us, it's very unconscious where we are, where it's very subconscious. We all know that we co-create from our subconscious, right? Something like 80%. I don't know who gets these percentages, how they get them. Maybe it comes from a divine download, which I honor. But a lot of our co-creations with the universe come from our subconscious mind. We know this by now. We've experienced it, right, Gemini? The beauty of this new moon is that you are really getting positive energy flow, wind at your back. You're getting a trine. If you have any planets or points in those high degrees, 23 to 29 degrees of Gemini, you're getting positive energy flow from the Aquarius energy. And that's a trine to your energy. And that's really going to help you to receive those epiphanies. They're more likely, or a spiritual awakening. I was blind, but now I see. I am in a new, if you've had a spiritual awakening, you know that feeling of freedom. It's incredibly freeing. And yes, then we have to deal with all the aspects of our life that don't align with our new self, right? And our new frequency. And that's hard. That's the human part of it. It's hard. But that feeling of, oh my gosh, if I had, it's a miracle consciousness. It's seeing yourself with new eyes. I need to come up with a different way of saying that, but I don't have it yet. I just know the feeling in my body of I'm seeing with new eyes. It's incredible. It's one of the biggest gifts we can get in this lifetime. I'm sure it's a thing that we wanted when we were souls, before we came into these bodies, and we were souls. And we were deciding what we wanted our soul lessons to be, what we wanted to learn as humans. I'm sure it was one of the things that we were most excited about experiencing. So, new realizations. So, Gemini, I've been shuffling and let us see. Some of you are probably contemplating right now, since this is happening in your ninth house, you're probably contemplating some sort of course, taking a course, learning something new, PhD program. These are all general, obviously, but like the idea of taking on something that from which you will learn a lot, something that is going to expand you. This is the house of expansion. Your new dream, your vision, may be related to expanding in this area of your chart. But also Gemini, Mars and Jupiter coming together in your sign, that area of your chart could be really up for you too. And I give readings on that in my August astrology video. So if you haven't watched that, go back and watch that. You're getting pinged in a couple of places in your chart in really beautiful ways. So now let us see. But this is going to be expansive for you. However this comes about, whether it's through travel or living someplace else or learning a new language or getting a degree or doing a metaphysical course, learning astrology, whatever it's through, it's going to be really expansive to you. Or just doing your own guided visualizations, doing your own deeper work, doing a life review. I will definitely be doing a life review during this, before or during the full moon. I already know that that's something I need to do. Okay, gems. And I do have a lot of exercises that take you into a new way of seeing, give you a new perspective, that are in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, linked in the description box below. Gemini. Solitude. Yeah, a lot of Geminis will get their awakening in a place of silence. In silence, peace prevails. There is some solitude that is going to take you forward, a moment of solitude. She's in nature. She is dressed like a queen, taking back your spiritual royalty, so to speak. We do have Sun and Mercury in Leo. Giving yourself time to feel peaceful, to relax, especially because that other T-square is happening in the mutable signs and you're going to feel it, Gemini. The square from Saturn, the square from Venus and Virgo, you will feel those energies. And so all of us with mutable energies are really going to most likely feel that T-square. And we're going to need some time out. We're going to need some solitude. So beautiful Gemini, leave me a comment. Let me know if this resonates. I would love to hear. Taurus, hello beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you are experiencing this Aquarius full moon in your house of career, your 10th house, top of your chart. Wow, this is a wow for you. It is squaring your energy, Taurus. That is giving you added motivation, tension, yes, but you want to break the tension, and to do that, you do take steps, you do take actions, and this is good. The message that came through for you when I was tuning into your energy is many of you want to make your mark, leave a legacy. There's something that you're really focused on creating that is going to be a new chapter for you, a rising up, rising to the occasion, whatever feels like success to you. Many of you are really focusing on a new sense of success, or really changing your lifestyle, retiring, semi-retiring, more freedom. You want more freedom. Aquarius energy is, we want freedom, we want independence, we want to think on our own terms. We want to do life our own way. So some of you are going to start your own business. Others of you are going to start a vocation. 10th house is the house of vocation. It's career for many of us, but for others of us, it is moving our work into the sense of vocation, where we feel like we're giving what we are meant to give. Dharma, the house of Dharma. This is the house of Dharma. And I mean Dharma in a practical way. Like, I am doing on a practical level my Dharma. I am translating it into my work. So this is a releasing, letting go of something. Often for many of us, I think this is going to be emotionally. and then saying yes to a new vision. Putting your feet to the pavement, taking a practical step. Probably the release will come first. There may be a lot of shedding during this full moon of an old skin for all of us, I think. But then it's on to the new era. It's on to the new era. We are being catapulted forward. Okay, so Taurus, given all of that, let's see what the cards have to say. How do you want to spend your one wild and precious life? That's the famous quote from Mary Oliver. I love it so much. What would take you to the next level, Taurus? After all, Uranus is in your sign and it is T-squaring this full moon, and it is saying it is time to say yes to that life upgrade, to go after that life upgrade. More security, more stability, better quality of life. This is what you're after during this full moon. And your card is answering the call. So perfect. The time is now. Answering the call. What is your soul calling you to, Taurus? For some of you, this is an up-leveling in your area of vocation, passion, and career. For others of you, it is brand new. It's a brand new horizon. But what I love about this card is the energy of it. She is like running out the door. She is so ready. She is moving. She is moving and shaking, and her movements are causing ripples in the universe. She is giving to the universe what she came here to give, and she is receiving, and the time is now. There is no more time to wait. I'm not saying you've been waiting, Taurus, but if you've been holding back, if you haven't been letting your freak flag fly, if you haven't been letting your Aquarian, because, you know, we all have Aquarius somewhere in our chart. If you haven't been letting your wildness out, you're the part of you that it's the part of you that wants to create. I'm thinking of the beating to your own drummer. Is that it? That idea, like that you are, even though you may be the only one expressing things in a certain way, and that makes you feel a bit exposed, perhaps. The time is now to say yes and do it. Taurus, let me know if this resonates. I would love to hear. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, are you fired up for this full moon? I know it's a little daunting hearing about the T-squares and everything going on. It feels very intense, but it is catapulting us forward. It is quantum leaping us into the new era of the age of Aquarius. And Aries, you are experiencing this full moon in Aquarius in your 11th house, which is the house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, the house of fulfillment, the house of friendships and alliances and community, organizations, causes. This is the house where social media platforms where you feel supported. You are getting support from this full moon, and it's going to be more of a flowing support for you because you're getting a sextile. Aquarius is air, you are fire. Aquarius is air, lights your fire, or I guess your fire is lighting the Aquarius energy, but you get the idea. Like the more air being added to your fire, the bigger your fire can burn, right, Aries? What else do I want to say to you about this? This is a releasing and letting go. So you may notice friendships leaving. You may notice a shift in your audiences or where you want to put your energy. If you do social media or you do meetup groups or any of those things, you may notice a shifting, a letting go, changing of the guard, or you are changing things out. You are saying no to this, yes to this. But there is a new yes here. There is a vision. There is a new beginning here as well. It's a full moon that is very much about letting go and releasing, but also, and transformational too, releasing an old self, but also saying yes to a new vision, going into the future, stepping into the future, letting our future selves guide us. And that means tapping into our future self. That means doing a guided visualization where we sense and feel a part of us that is pulling us forward. There is a healed self. There is a more evolved self, a higher self, soul self that is guiding us forward for each and every one of us. It's just a matter of communicating with that part of us. And what I love is that Mercury retrograde is conjunct the sun in Leo, which means And you, by the way, that the sun and Mercury retrograde are trining you, because fire and fire. And so we can get those divine downloads. We can feel that energy of the future self if we tap into it with intention. If our intention is, I want to feel this, I want to experience this, and I'm going to put my spidey senses out, I'm going to make that call to my higher self and get the information that I need. And I'm going to allow the transformation to happen. So Aries, that means that you have new friendships coming in, you have new alliances coming in, you have new, if your vision is about that, which I'm guessing for some of you at least it is, or about finding your tribe, because this is the house of tribe, or about a new hope, wish, or dream that could also have to do with long-term financial gains, then you are, again, we co-create, you're intending that, you're going to start seeing, getting synchronicities and signs and messages to take a certain step in that direction. Okay, Aries, let me pull a card for you. Aries, your card is Rejuvenating Rain, Clear the Past, Heal the Present. There is a rejuvenating rain that is coming during this full moon for you. She's out in nature. She's near a waterfall. She is giving herself the space that she needs to become aware of whatever needs clearing. If you don't know what it is, if you don't know whether you're holding a grievance against yourself or against another person, you can ask Spirit for information on that. You can journal. You can write to Spirit, as I explain how to do in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. As you clear the past, you heal the present. And this moon very much is going to bring us into the present moment. That's what this Uranus square is going to do. It's going to be like, oh, this is what's in front of me right now. Uranus can be in our face, but it is going to show us what we need to see, a truth we need to see in order to claim our own truth and say yes to our heart's desire, beautiful Aries. If this resonates, let me know. I would love to hear in the comments below. Okay, Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you are experiencing the full moon in Aquarius in your house of the mystic, your divine connection. This is the house of retreat and rest. So you may feel during this full moon that there's a lot going on under the surface. You could feel like there's an inner conflict going on. You could feel like there's a lot of subconscious mind chatter, a truth being revealed. Most of us are going to have a truth revealed regardless of the house it's happening in, but because it's happening in your 12th house, you may feel it even more intensely. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to anything that happens in like just when you're just starting to fall asleep, any epiphanies you get. Some of you may do astral travel. This is a great time to do a guided journey. This is a deep diving full moon in which something is going to be revealed to you, something you didn't see before. Now there's a tendency with a 12th house full moon to want to go into a fantasy or an escape, or to lean on an addiction, or something that takes us out of our emotional awareness. But this full moon in particular wants us, this is true for life, right? We want to be aware of our emotions and process them, but especially during this one, we are being called to shed a skin. So I really encourage you to be, if you feel those tendencies, which would be so natural during this time, get me out of here. That is going to be what many of us are going to feel during this full moon. This is too much. It's overwhelming. You could feel overwhelmed. But this full moon's marching orders are to lean into the emotion, feel the feelings, have the good cry, do breathing through, tap through it. I love tapping. I love tapping for the most intense emotions. And there are a lot of YouTube videos on tapping that you can follow if you haven't done it before. You may feel like you're woken up out of a dream. You may feel like you have a rude awakening that has to do with another person or a situation in your life. Pisces, it could be a job. Since the 6th house of work is across from your 12th house, the 12th house where this moon is happening. But if that happens, it's exactly what needs to happen for you to go into the next phase of your life, for you to say yes to your vision or your dream or your heart's desire. This moon is taking us into the next era. It is really a cosmically, I don't want to say, okay, I got the image of being shot out of a cannon, and it doesn't feel that harsh to me. It feels more like a good, like when you're jumping on a trampoline and you go high. There may be moments of I'm high, I'm up in that higher frequency. But then in order to stay at that higher frequency, we have to shed something. And Pisces, you're good at that. Most Pisces, they're good at it. They're good at doing that emotional release once they say, I'm going to do this. I'm ready for it. I'm game, right? Okay, Pisces, let me pull a card for you now. Ah, beautiful Pisces. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Aquarius Full Moon. Your card is support is all around you, fellow travelers. This is also perfect for a full moon in the 12th house because he is tapping into the support of the ethereal realms in a sense. Like there's a peacock, there's a rainbow, there's an orange tree even. Like there are so many things in this card. The spirit of other living things that you can tap into, right? Like what would the peacock say to you? What message does the rainbow have for you? Even the juiciness of the abundance that ripe oranges symbolize. Like you Pisces, you're good at decoding symbolism and you're good at downloading messages from other living things or the ethereal realms. And all of this, all of nature is supportive to you, right? And he's on a journey and he's dressed in his traveling clothes and he has his staff and there's a path. There is a path. You are on a path, Pisces. You are not alone. You are not lost. If you feel lost, that's how we find ourselves, right? But support is all around you. Tap into that support. Ask the divine for support. Ask the divine to show you the symbols and the magic and the synchronicities and the messages because you are being supported during this full moon. Leave me a comment, Pisces. I would love to hear if this resonates for you. My beautiful friend, I am so interested to see how this full moon plays out. There are so many planetary conversations happening during this full moon, and with a T-square to Uranus and with all of the mutable T-square energies happening, this is going to be a really interesting full moon. If you would like to know how these energies are playing out in your natal astrology chart, what is being activated for you, and not just during this full moon, but how your own planets or points are being activated by any of the outer planets, for example. You could be having an outer planet activation from Uranus. You could be having a Pluto transit. You could be having a Saturn transit. These tend to be the more challenging transits, and when we know what the planets are doing and how they're affecting us, it really helps us to empower ourselves and to know, how can I work with these energies? This is what I love to help you with in an astrology consultation. How can you work with the transits that are happening now? What we call positive energy flow transits are happening for you? What do you have to look forward to? And what does your natal chart show in terms of your strengths and your gifts and your talents and what you can tap into to work with any energies that are going on in your life right now? So if this interests you, go to my website, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after their readings, and I look forward to meeting you on Zoom. I also offer coaching services. If you would like clarity on something, you can do a clarity session with me. All of the links to my coaching and astrology consultations are in the description box below. Thank you for joining me for the Aquarius full moon. Thank you for being here. Thank you to my Sunday chat friends for joining us. Thank you for your likes, for your comments, for your subscribes. I'm so grateful to you when you subscribe. You help my video go out to more people who love astrology, paying it forward. And for those of you who donate, I am so incredibly grateful to you. You make my day. I do have a free gift for you. That free gift is a soothing guided meditation, reconnecting you to your heart, reconnecting you to your spirit. Go to my website, subscribe for free to my weekly inspirational updates, and you will get that instant download right away. My beautiful friend, what are your thoughts on this Aquarius full moon? How are you feeling the energies? Leave me a comment. I'd love to know. And until my next video, I am sending you all my love.